it's me, Shani, and today I'm going to be doing the eyeshadow palette tag created by Angelica Niesis, I believe, here on YouTube. And it is 8 different questions, and I thought I'd just go through and show you guys the products I picked out for each question. You know, what my answer would be. I love these types of tag videos. I think they're fun to do, so I thought, why not? Let's just get into it. I'll tell you what palettes are on my eyes today as I go, because they're actually included in this video. So I hope you guys are having a great day, and let's just get right into it. So number 1 is the eyeshadow palette color scheme that represents me. So this was kind of a tough one. I actually, for a lot of these, I have 2 answers, which is kind of cheating, but you know, I couldn't choose, so that's the case for this one. So the first palette that came to mind for the color scheme that represents me was the ColourPop It's My Pleasure eyeshadow palette. I love this palette. It is very used and abused, and I really just love pinks and purples. They are my favorite eyeshadow colors to wear, and this shade right here, Earth Shine, is my absolute favorite eyeshadow, possibly of all time. And so it has like a really big dip in it, and Mr. Sandman is gorgeous, Bare Minimum, Do or Dough, and then the mattes are really beautiful as well. So this palette to me is just really perfect, and I feel like it kind of represents me in a palette, just because it's those beautiful pinks and purples. And I feel like the only shade I don't absolutely love in here, there's that little hair, Pretty Cruel, I don't absolutely love, and then Chiclet is kind of a pretty dark purple for my liking, but all the other shades are just so gorgeous. I love ColourPop's formula, so this had to be one of my answers. But with looking into my collection more so, I feel like the Natasha Denona Cranberry Eyeshadow Palette is also a favorite, and I feel like this kind of represents me in a color scheme as well, because we have this gorgeous pink. I absolutely love this shimmer. The mattes are really gorgeous, and then I really like these 2 shimmers as well. They're just interesting and super sparkly, and I don't know, I just really love this color story as well, and it's just simple, but it's gorgeous. So this is one of my favorite palettes as well, so I decided on these 2 for color schemes that represent me. So yeah, next, number 2 is eyeshadow palette packaging that represents me. So this is a little different, and I would say one of my favorite packaging, I have 2 answers for this one as well, but is the Glitter Storm by Ciate London. I just love the like purple and shimmery glitter in here, and like their little star sequence, and I don't know, I just always loved this palette packaging. I'll show you the inside as well. It is really gorgeous in here too. I absolutely love the glitter formula in here. It's like super shimmery and beautiful. I don't really like the satins, but the mattes are gorgeous. So this one for packaging, I feel like was what I first thought of for packaging that represents me, because I love shimmery, glittery things. But also I decided to throw in this one as well. This is the Lime Crime Venus 3 palette. I got this in a BoxyCharm, but I feel like it kind of represents me in the packaging. I absolutely love antique, vintage type of stuff, and so the whole like antique or vintage aesthetic I feel like is kind of represented here, because we have the little birds and the girl and the pinky purple color scheme with the clouds, and then if you look in the corners there's like little cherubs, you know, like baby angels, I feel like, in the little corners, and it just gives me that old antique type vibe. So I don't know, I thought this would be an interesting one to throw in, but I do enjoy the packaging on this one as well. I feel like it kind of represents my antique old soul type side. Number 3, palettes that represent palette that represents spring, but I chose two. These are actually the palettes I have on my eyes today. The first one I think of when I think of spring palettes is the Sweet Talk ColourPop eyeshadow palette. I just think it's so gorgeous. First off, the packaging is beautiful, but these colors are just so spring. The pinky purple, not purple, I'm sorry, the pinky coral neutral vibes I just love. And I do have Catch Me all over the lid, but Side to Side is the shimmer you see on my lid that I absolutely love, and I have a pretty big dip in that, and some of the mattes I have a pretty big dip in. I just love this palette, and I've been using it a lot in the springtime, so this is what I had to choose for spring. But I also wanted to include the other palette on my eyes today, the Sugar Pill Fun Size Mini Color Palette. Look at the little kitty, I love it. But these, I don't know, these like pastel neon shades I feel like are perfect for spring and summer, but I wanted to include this one as well. And I have 8-bit on my in my crease and outer corner. It's basically the star of the show of my look today is 8-bit, the Periwinkle shade. So I absolutely love this palette for spring as well, so I had to include it. Number 4, palette that represents joy and happiness. I do have one answer, only one answer for this one. I thought about this, and I feel like the palette that just really brings me joy right now is the Tiny Marvels by Sydney Grace and Mel Thompson. I just love, first off, the packaging is gorgeous, but I absolutely love the color scheme in here, and it just brings me so much happiness because I feel like I'm always coming up with different color combos because it's such a unique color story. And I love the shimmers, and the matte formula in here is always like so impressive every time I use it, so it just has been bringing me joy. It has the pinks and purples I love, it has the greens and the grungy tones that I enjoy too, and I've just been loving it. So I feel like this is like the total package type of eyeshadow palette, and it's just been bringing me joy. I absolutely love reaching into it every single time. Next is grungy eyeshadow palette that is the most grungy in my collection, and I chose the Subculture from Anastasia. I've had this for a while, and it's just one of my favorite, definitely my favorite grungy tone palette I feel like in my collection. There's just those deep mattes and the greens and the kind of grungy mustards, and this shade here, I just absolutely love this color scheme, and I feel like when I heard grungy tone palette, I just kind of gravitated towards this one. So, love this guy, and I haven't really been reaching for it lately. I feel like this is more of a fall palette for me that I like to reach into during the fall, but love it. Okay, next is palette that represents the girly in me, which could be a few of my palettes, but I did choose two to talk about. Also Anastasia palettes. The Norvina. I feel like these two palettes combined, if we combine these two palettes somehow, would be my perfect girly palette. So the Norvina, because it has the perfect like shimmery pinks and purples and that love shade right here. I do like the Periwinkle too, but some of these shades in here are just so perfectly girly and lovely. But I also chose the Amrezy palette as well because there's some shades, more pinky shades in here that aren't in this palette, but so I don't know, if you took Celestial, Wild Child, and Love, and maybe Soul from this palette, and then you took from Amrezy, if you took the purple matte here, and then Cupcake and Barb and Anastasia, like there's some shades in here too that are the perfect girly shades. So these are my answers. I feel like a combination of both of these palettes would be my perfect girly palette, but both of them I feel like are very girly. Number 7, we have palette that represents fun, and I chose two. The first one that came to mind was the Tribe palette from Juvia's Place. I just love this palette, and I find it fun because it is that grungy green, blue, orangey, grungy neutral type palette. I feel like it's fun because you never know what you're gonna come up with, and it's just very unique, like the most unique color story I feel like in my collection. So when I thought of fun, I thought of this palette. But a more recent palette to my collection that I think is fun is the Ace Beauté Nostalgia palette. I feel like this is such a fun color scheme. It's so spring and summer. The mattes are just so pigmented and out there, you know, bright colors, and you know, the teal, the purples, and the shimmers are gorgeous. So this also is my recent fun representing fun in my collection palette. So yeah, that leaves one more answer, palette that represents inspiration. And so this one came pretty easy as well. I decided on Melt Myrte. I just feel like this, first off, the packaging is gorgeous. The whole launch of this collection was so amazing from Melt. But this palette, I've mentioned it many times on my channel, and I'm sorry it is not available anymore, and I hate mentioning it because of that, but it just represents inspiration to me because you have the mints, the blues, the burgundies, and I feel like this color scheme is just so unique, and it makes me think outside the box, and Melt's formula is really amazing. So for inspiration, this is the one I chose. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. I thought I'd sit down, go through some of my palettes, and show you what I picked out for each answer. Let me know if you have any other video suggestions or other tag videos you want me to do. And yeah, I hope you have a great day. Like and subscribe if you haven't. Check out my Instagram, Shake Up Makeup Shan, for more makeup related stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day. Bye.